Okay, so I'm going to give you a preview of the Sabre cell phone clocking application, just to give you an idea. So it's a Sabre Telegram clocking system, and I'm going to show you the basics of how it works on the cell phone using Telegram. So what will happen is you get given a link, or you can write down this link if you want. It's basically t.me/clock001 bot, and that is the robot, and you just send a message to the robot, whether it's from your cell phone or on a desktop. However, it's going to work better on your cell phone, and I'll show you the reasoning now. But for this video, it's just easier using the computer so that I can talk to you and show you how it works. So what happens is when you click that link the first time, it'll come up with this message over here. Hey Peter, let's get started. You are here. So you need to give us a few of your details, and it asks to send the phone number. Like I say, I'm going to do this as a combined, both on my cell phone and on my laptop, on my phone as well, because you need the phone because it needs GPS coordinates. So I'm watching it on both. So the first thing you do is you send your phone number and you say share it. It then gets the details from your Telegram. If you haven't got Telegram, it'll ask you to install Telegram and then take you through this process. Okay. So once that's done, you need to send your location, which I'm doing now from the cell phone. We'll see it on the screen, and then you've got the option to use the menu, which is over here, and you can also clock multiple employees, but that has to be set up in the back end through the back-end software. The integration to the back-end has not been completed yet. That's why I say this is a preview ahead of the application. However, you can use this application immediately because there's no cost involved, as I said, for this cell phone application, and it's just a method of data collection. The back-end does all the work. But you can go through your history and see where you clocked, and you can see when you clocked in and clocked out, and you can see the locations and everything else. So what happens is once you've done this, okay, I'm just going to say send. Let's just see if it comes up with anything. Okay. Anyway, you can then do clocking of multiple employees. But there's nothing set up at the moment, so it's not going to show anything. There's also a work code function, so you can say where you clocked in at a particular client. This is ideal for either a single employee that's going to site, whether it be sales reps, or whether it be multiple employees like on a construction site. And it can also be used just for a single person working at different sites. So the way it works is when you click the menu, you can choose whether you want to clock in or clock out. You can give a list of your previous clockings. You can invoke the multi-clocking, and you can also clock in with a work code or clock out with a work code. Those are the options. So I'm just going to pause the video for a second, and then I'll come back to you and I will show you the multi-clocking with multiple employees. Before I do that, let me just show you a standard clocking. So if I click on here and I say I want to clock in, okay, it then asks to send your location where you're clocking in, and there's my clock in. Clock in is done. If at a later stage when I'm finished on the site I want to clock out, I just click on the menu and I choose clock out, and then I send my location once again to say where I'm clocking out from, and there's my clock out. So if you want to view that information, you can go here and you can say view the list of clockings. That's all within a certain period of time. So yeah, let me just set up the multi-clock quickly, and then I'll get back to you. I'm going to set up some employees in the background. Okay, so now I've set up some employees in the background. So if I go to menu and I choose multi-employee, I have to then send the location, which I'm doing from my cell phone. Okay, and then I say I want to clock multiple employees in or out. I then get a list of 3 employees here with their unique enroll IDs, which goes through to the full-time and attendance through to payroll. And I can put a work code here. I can say Nagella office as an example, and I want to clock that person in, that person out, and that person in, and I clock all three of them in or out as I need to. And all three are now being clocked. So if I want to look at the last clockings, there's the last three clockings that have been clocked. Yeah, so basically what I'm saying is that if you utilize this, and you could use it from today, you just go to the robot, you register, and then you can look at your clockings, and you can also go back in history and you can see where you clocked in and out. And if you use the work code, and when you use the work code, so say for instance I want to clock in as myself over here, and I want to clock in with the work code, I then type in that I'm at the Nagella office and send that, and send the location, and then that would be recorded as my clocking. And like I say, that way you can always go and have a look and see where you clocked in, who the site was, and you can see the date and the time as to when it happened, so that you've got the history. So if I look at the latest clockings, there's my last clocking over there. Yeah, so I hope this helps, and yeah, play with this. Like I say, you will see features being added, and I'll go more over the back end once we've got the back end interconnected. The back end is up and running, but not for this particular application, and it will be provided at a small cost, probably $1 per employee per month, with a minimum of 10 employees. That's what we're looking at the moment. So in Rand terms, it's about 188 Rand for 10 employees, or 18 Rand per employee. But that includes this as well as the back end. The back end for the basic software will be first and last out in total hours, and then there's also an upgrade of the back end to the full time and attendance through to payroll or pay slip. And if you've taken the full version of the software in the back end, then this application is totally free for regardless of the number of employees. But to get you there, we're going to basically give this application for free as far as the cell phone goes, and any of the reports on the cell phone will be free. But the back end will be a pay version with the based on the number of employees at, like I say, $1 a month. However, that becomes free when you upgrade to the full version of the back end, which will give you full time and attendance, working at doing normal time, overtime, Sunday time, public holidays, night shift allowances, overtime after so many hours worked per day, per week, or per month, monthly salaries, wages, full payroll, including your taxes and your tax rates, and your SARS data straight through to SARS, straight out of the application, integration into any other payroll, whether it be VIP, Pastel, or any of the other payrolls, as well as your full pay slip for all your employees. So it'll be a complete turnkey solution for time and attendance. As well as what we're working on now is the job costing. There is basic job costing in the back end as well, and the job costing would be connected to the work code that you're seeing over here. So you'd be basically either giving a name, like I said there, Nagella office, or you can give a number for a particular job, and people out in the field can clock in and out on that particular job, and they'll be able to draw reports specific to that job. So they'll be able to draw reports based on a specific, from one date to another, and a report for that particular job. And like I say, that'll be included in the $1 per employee per month. However, as I say, if you upgrade to the full version of the time and attendance, which will include the job costing as well, then you'll only pay for the time and attendance through to payroll and pay slip, where the integration is also into physical hardware biometric devices for fingerprint and facial, whether it be remote devices or on-site devices. And you'll get all that data through, as well as the cell phone data from this application, so that you can draw a single common report for everybody regardless of how they're clocked, including multi-user on all of the fronts. So I hope this is enticing enough to have a look and play with it yourself. Seems that it costs nothing at this stage, and it's not going to cost anything for the cell phone app through to the future. Into the future, you'll always be able to make use of it as you can do right now. So what you're getting use of now, you've got for life, free of charge.